Welcome everyone to RAYNE Reviews, The Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is Wednesday night into midnight, Thursday, I guess, before the movie comes out. I actually got to see this on Tuesday, or was it Monday? Monday or Tuesday, at a pre-screening, which I can't tell you how. I know people, that's all I'm going to say. um, so the first 3 or 4 minutes is going to be spoiler-free, what I think about the movie in general, what I want to say about it. The rest of the time will be spoilers, and if you don't want spoilers, tune out after that. But for the first 3 or 4 minutes, I'll say when I'm going to spoil. So first 3 or 4 minutes, just going to be my basic review. Um, Having watched all the other Marvel movies, I enjoyed this one just as much. It was a really fun movie. I do recommend it for anyone wondering if you should go see it. If you're a big fan of the Marvel movies, then definitely this is one you've got to see. If if not, then it's still a fun standalone movie, even though you might need to know more about the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and probably not really nothing from the Marvel Cinematic Universe because it really doesn't play to that. It just plays off the first movie, which is a good idea because that gives people that don't really haven't gone back and watched some of the older ones or some of the younger ones, kids, give them a chance to actually see them before they see this, before they actually jump into the other movies, because there's so many at this point. Um, I really enjoyed this movie. Um, the few criticisms are going to be nitpicky at the most, but there are a few things that kind of was like on me. The first being the soundtrack, just like the first one, was all over this movie. And in the first movie, it kind of fit. It was good. It was played up well. In this one, with the exception of the opening scene and a few, I think one other scene had music in it that I really enjoyed. Other than that, it just really didn't fit. It was enjoyable, but it was like you would be in the middle of a scene, and you know when certain movies give you certain music that just kind of takes you out of the movie for a minute. They did it in this movie for me. There was like 2 or 3 times where the music played, and you're just like, they're playing this song. I love the song, but why is it playing right now? It made no sense. So that was one thing that kind of hit me in the wrong way. Am I calling it? Is this the best Marvel movie? No. Actually, I don't even think this is better than the first one. I think the first one was better than this one, but it is enjoyable. I think it's worth seeing. Um, Going back into the movie, the 5 characters we've come to know, of course, Groot. Something happened in the first one. I ain't gonna ruin that yet, like I said. You got Baby Groot. You've got Rocket Raccoon. You've got Gamora. You've got Dave Bautista, because frankly, he's Dave Bautista. He's Drax, but Dave Bautista plays himself in this. And you got, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. Star-Lord, which they call by his first name almost the entire movie. They don't even, Quill is his last name. They don't even say Quill. In the first movie, all he was called was Quill. In this one, he's called, I can't remember his first name, but they said it 1,000 times. Peter. Peter's his name, and they call him Peter through the whole movie, which kind of also was like, I'm so used to hearing Quill or Star-Lord that it was kind of weird, but it didn't take me out of the movie. That didn't take me out of the movie. Let's see, Quinn's more of a serious character in this movie than he was the other ones. He was more the jokester. This one he has jokes, but he's more the serious character. Gamora is the same as she was in the first one. Maybe a little bit more toned down, not as aggressive, not as physically aggressive towards Quill. You know, she's more failing to the group aspect. Drax is Batista. I mean, he's a brute who doesn't understand common, language, common sarcasticness, stuff like that. I can't remember what they said his thing was, but he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand what people, when they say something, when they think something, he's just like, why? But he had probably the funniest lines in these movies, because a lot of one-liners and a lot of little things. He plays off a new character called Mantis, and she was pretty fun, and she was kind of weird. You didn't really know where they're going to take her. And Drax and her are kind of not a couple. They're not a couple at all, but they're more they play off each other in this movie. And that part with Dave Bautista was really, really enjoyable, and I thought he had some of the best lines that he had in either movie in this right here with her. Um, Rocket Raccoon is 100% better in this movie. In the last one, he had a lot of spots, a lot of parts, but in this one, it really plays up to his strength. Bradley Cooper, my hat's off to you, sir. You did a great job. Um, and Baby Groot is just, it's just Baby Groot. I mean, he's got funny parts, but the funniest parts you've seen in the previews. Those two preview spots was the funniest parts for Groot, but he did have funny parts in the movie. But the movie follows them through another adventure. What happens in that adventure, I can't say until the spoiler part. So I'm gonna finish up by saying, if you're a fan of these characters and the first movie, not really the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the first movie, you're really gonna enjoy this. If you wanted it to play more into the cinematic universe, you might be kind of disappointed. I was not, but I wasn't really, expecting to be blown away by this. I was hoping, because the first one blew me away, but this one kind of was like, it's a good movie, a good enjoyable movie, but it's not the best Marvel movie, and I stand by that. So thank you for joining me if you're for the non-spoiler, and in about 10 seconds, I'm going to wait for you to leave because I'm going to go into the spoilers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
4. For you spoilers, I cannot believe they brought in, oh my god, I can't think of his name. I'm so blanking on names today. Jack from, not Showdown Little Tokyo, Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that. Kurt Russell is the father of Quill in this movie. They bring him in about 15 minutes in. That's one thing about the movie I didn't really care for, is the fact that once they brought the father in of Quill, you knew he'd end up being the bad guy, and he did. I mean, you could just feel it. He's going to be the bad guy. He plays a celestial being, aka a god with a little g, who I love Kurt Russell, and I thought he did great in this role. But you knew from the beginning he's going to be the villain. They didn't cover it up, but they didn't say it. But I mean, it was kind of obvious, at least to me, that he was going to be the villain. And he did a good job. He was funny and serious and loud, and his career since 2-3 years now has just exploded again. If you want to do another Big Trouble in Little China, now is the time to bring Jack back. Now. He was really good, but he was the villain, of course. Quill finds out he's his father, and he's part god, so... see, I can't even call him Peter, but they call him Peter through the movie. Peter Quill, Star-Lord, he plays serious. He's like, oh my god, I'm a father. I don't want to see him, and then Gamora talks him into seeing him, and then she talks him out of seeing him. And it's just kind of like, are we watching Dawson's Creek here? But it didn't take out the movie. More spoilers. Like I said, the opening scene had Little Groot while they were fighting a creature, which I'm not really big on Guardian Galaxy comic. I don't know nothing about it, so I don't know if that character was based in the comic. But they fight a giant villain, and it's basically the opening scene is Groot playing the music, dancing through the whole violence, and just having a good old time, running around, smacking some people around, saying hi to Gamora and other people, and just kind of having a good time. And that was really enjoyable. But then later on, you see certain parts where it's like, why is he doing this? Why is the music playing again? And I'm like, there's a big fight scene, all of a sudden, doo 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 doo. Like, why is that playing? They bring back Michael Rooker, who I love as an actor, and he plays, I can't remember that character's name ever. Something do, Mandu, Windu, whatever it is. But Michael Rooker was just amazing in this movie. He's the guy that captured Quinn, but what you come to realize is he was the real father to Quinn through all those years, and he loved Quinn, and he took care of Quinn. And spoilers again, he dies at the end, saving Quinn. And they give him this great send-off. I mean, just the character from the beginning of Guardian Galaxy 1 to the end of this one just was such a good bookend for Michael Rooker's character. And I wouldn't be upset at all if they brought him back somehow. If they, if he died, but if, Marvel can do anything they want. I would love to see him back for Infinity War or what's the second one, Infinity Gauntlet or whatever, the Infinity War Part 2. I would love to see him come back with just a little cameo like, I'm here for Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end for Luke Skywalker. Something like that. Just a little spot where he's a ghost. It would be cool with me. Because he's such a great actor and such a great character to play. Gamora was just kind of there. Her and Quill, I did like the fact that they brought them a little closer, but it still didn't make them a couple. And I like that, and I'm glad they're saving that for later on, because it's like any TV show when two people get together. Well, he says it in the movie. I believe in the movie says once two people come together, they kind of end the show. The show's no longer fun to watch. And that's true with this one. I mean, it's the truth. If they got together, it'd be like, yay, we want them to get together, but it's just kind of what we expected, and I'm glad they didn't do that. They bring back Karen Gillan. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. You're a beautiful, amazing person, and I would so date you if I could. I gotta think for redhead, sorry. But they brought back Nivea. Is it Nivea? I'm so bad with names now. They bring her back, the sister of Gamora, and I loved her in this movie. She just played it up well. She's trying to get revenge on her sister, and then she ends up joining them, and for a brief time till she goes after Thanos, which did not appear in this movie. So if you're looking for Thanos, don't. Although, God, there's I think 4, 5, if you want to call it that, 4 ending credit scenes. So you got to stay till the very freaking end. I mean, it's credit scene, credits, credit scene, credits, credit scene, credits. And you're like, Lord, are they going to go again? They they take these characters, they bring them into situations, they have them face another giant army of not celestial beings, but just a warring faction who was more. I can't remember if it was played by Tilda Swinton, but she sure looked like that was her. She's ruling these gold-colored people, and they go after Quill and Rocket Raccoon because they were the ones that hired them to kill that big creature, but Rocket stole something from them, so now they're after them to kill them. Like, you stole our stuff, time to die. And that's the basis of the movie until you get to Quinn meeting his father. Then the basis of the movie becomes the father part, and those characters just kind of go, poof, we're done with you. And they kill them off quick, kill them off like, and they're gone. And it's like, okay, so they were there for just to pad the movie, I guess. Don't get me wrong, scenes were enjoyable. There was a lot of stuff between Michael Rooker, two of his henchmen, his group, and Rocket Raccoon, and it was just that was the best part of the movie, I think, is their little thing between all of them. There's a guy called what's those little shocker things called? I'm sorry, I'm just so bad with thinking of things at 12 o'clock midnight. But a little shocker, well, he's Shocker Face or whatever the name is, and Rocket Raccoon just makes fun of him throughout that. He finally tells Tilda Swinton that he called him and tells him what his name is, and Taserface, and she just starts cracking up laughing at him, and he just realizes, wow, what a stupid name. And so, like, the jokes in it were great. They hit really well. It's just some of the other parts of the movie and some predictable parts and the music just kind of threw it off. So I don't dislike this movie. I don't love this movie, but I really, really like it. Well, Quill ends up destroying his father, saving the universe again because he was a celestial god going to take over the whole universe. And that's pretty much how they end it. And it was ended with the credit scenes. You finally see Groot as a teenager, which is a good thing because Tiny Groot was fun, but they need to expand that character so that he can be ready for Infinity War. And they show him as a teenager just, having, an argument. He's playing video games and Quill's there like, are you going to do that all day? You need to get outside and look, clean up your room, and just playing the father figure, and it was a pretty good little end scene. And they also had, spoiler, which I won't say at the beginning, but I cannot believe they got Sylvester Stallone in this movie to play a character, which like I said, I don't know nothing about. I don't really know about Infinity War either. But apparently they've got characters brought in at the last scene that are in that are really really meant towards. I guess he's got to be, because why would Sylvester Stallone play a character for 5 minutes in the movie? But it plays into Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet. You know, they are involved with other characters. One guy has a piece of the Infinity Gauntlet, not gauntlet, but the stone. He has a stone in his head, so of course that's going to play into the Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, whichever one's first. But they bring them in and give you kind of not really a backstory, but just kind of introduces the characters. Um, they this movie it built at the end for Infinity War, but at the same time it was just kind of like, here's Guardians of the Galaxy again. You loved them, you loved what we did with them. Here they are. So I do recommend this movie in theaters. It's visually it's beautiful, beautiful. But when it comes to, is it the best Marvel movie? No. Is it worth seeing in theater? Yes. Is it a rental? Definitely. Is it a own? If you own the first one, I say buy this one too. It's definitely rental. It's a Netflix rental. It's a Amazon rentals, whatever you want to be. But it's all in all a good movie and definitely worth it. So thank you for joining me here. That's where I'm going to end it. And I appreciate your time. If you have any comments or would like to know anything more, or would like me to review a different kind of movie or something, just leave it in the comments. Thanks, like, comment, subscribe. The more you people watch, the more I want to do these movies, because I enjoy discussing them with other people as well. If anyone out there that I know that watches these, if you'd like to come and do a review with me one time with some movie, let's do it. Me and Mark's done it. Me and old girlfriend did it. Me and a few other people have, and I'd like to get more people involved in this if they will. So thank you. Have a good night.